So as you can guess, I do the 3 block wide lane during these diagonal cases like this, just so that, okay, it was the llama that spoke. What up, tubers? Bunny here, and this week we're back in Minecraft. So I'm thinking in this episode, I'm gonna do a tutorial on how to build a road. You know, what's the point of saying, like, welcome back to Minecraft and I'm gonna be doing this or that in this video? I mean, what's the point? Because you read the title of the video. You may or may not have read the description. So it's kinda a little obvious, I think, that this is a tutorial on how to build a road, but anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and start this tutorial. Now, for the sake of this tutorial, I am taking a little field trip to Central Rabbit Erica. And here is where Central Rabbit Erica is located according to the Rabbit World map. More precisely, to the island state of Bunama. Now, the materials you're going to need to build a road, well, I should say the sensible materials that you would want to use is concrete. I was about to say but that doesn't make sense. So I'm going to do white concrete, yellow concrete, and now gray or light gray, this is going to depend on if you want your road to look newer or older. If you want your road to have a newer look, you should do gray concrete. If you want your road to have an older look, then do light gray. For this part of the tutorial, I'm going to do light gray. Anyway, I'm going to start off with a basic 2-lane road. So I'm going to start with the shoulder. So I'm going to just go 1 block away from the edge here. And on this block, I'm going to place these white concrete here. And this is going to act as the road shoulder. If you want to do a wider shoulder like this, you can do so. However, I prefer just to do a white shoulder, this line, that's it. So anyway, I'm going to extend this for a few blocks. I'll be right back. So this here is the shoulder of your road. So that is basically 1 block wide. Now let's make a lane. Now on roads that are 2 or more lanes, I build the lanes to be 2 blocks wide like this. The exception to this width rule is if I'm building a 1-laned road, but I'll get to that in a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to extend this lane up till the shoulder on the left end. And here is the end of my road segment, so this is 1 lane. Like I said, it's 2 blocks wide. So the next part is to do the center line. I will begin with the basic center line, which is just a solid yellow line. So that's your center line, and I will go into more details about the center line in a moment. Now I'm going to add a second lane, and then I'm going to add the opposite shoulder. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And there we go, that's your basic 2-lane road. And I should mention this before I forget. You do a shoulder like this if the road is out in the countryside. However, if the road is in the city, I would use a different material that represents the sidewalk. In my case, I use stone bricks for the sidewalks, but I found that you could also use smooth stone and polished andesite. You could probably also use other smooth stones as your sidewalk. It really depends on you. I am just giving you a basic tutorial. That's all it is. Oh, and here's a little tip if you're building your road close to an edge. I like to put a ground material here that extends at least 1 block away from the shoulder. That way you can place guardrails, like for example, let me place an oak fence here. You can do that for a guardrail. I'm just going to delete it though because I don't think it's necessary right here. Well, maybe right there or there because that's a little uncomfortably close to the edge. Okay, look at all that surface right there that I have to fill in with this concrete. One cheat that you can use if you have cheats enabled is the fill command. And I'm basically going to use that to fill in this large area. And I do recommend if you're building huge segments of road that you use this cheat. It just saves you time. See, now I filled in this area and then I can just put in my yellow center line. Okay, now I'm going to show you something that I do when I build roads diagonally. So I'm going to go ahead and start it out. I'm going to build it on the inside corner. So I have this little diagonal turn right here. So how do I design the lanes in this case? Well, let me show you. So I'm going to put the 2 width of lane here. Now you see on this corner right here, you kind of have this little narrow point here in the lane. What I like to do in these roads is extend this row of concrete lane, just extend it an extra 2 blocks. Then I go ahead and put in the 2 width of the lane like this. So basically, if the lane shifts to the right, you're going to want to reserve 2 blocks of shifting room, and you're going to make the lane 3 blocks wide at the shift point. In fact, I'll go ahead and demonstrate on the rest of this diagonal piece. See, this is the shift point. I'm making it 3 wide. Shift point, 3 wide. 3 wide again. So yeah, I do 3 block wide lanes when doing diagonals like this because it makes the lanes look a little bit better and doesn't look like they have some pinch point or something. So I'm going to go ahead and place in the center line and I'm going to fill out this area of the road. I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, so here's my 2-lane road. Here's my center line. But as you can see, it's a straightaway, so it doesn't really need to be a solid yellow line all the way through. So I'm going to do a little technique to introduce broken lines to the center of the road. Ooh, the whoosh in the wind was kind of loud. So if you know your traffic laws, you know that a yellow line, solid yellow line, indicates no overtaking allowed on a 2-lane road. And this can be for a number of reasons. And all these reasons are hazards of the road, like, for example, a turn, like I have right here. Now, of course, yellow lines are something like this. If there's a section of the road in which it's safe to pass on, or a side of the road in which it's safe to pass, in this case, this lane, after it comes right out of the turn, you have the broken yellow lines on this side indicate that the right side is allowed to overtake. But obviously with 1 block wide center lines, that can't be done. But I thought of a solution to this problem. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, this is the beginning of the hazard. So I'm going to delete these 2 center line blocks here. Then I'm going to take my white concrete, remove these 2 blocks, and replace them with the white. Then I'm going to break this up. And here we have what I use to indicate which side is allowed to overtake. So if the white line is closest to you when you're driving on the road, that means that your side of the road is allowed to overtake. But if the yellow line is the part closest to you, that means that your side is not allowed to overtake. So I'm going to go ahead and build 4 more of these lines. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this has a total length of 30 blocks. So what do you do for overtaking permission lines past this 30 mark? Well, I'll just use the white blocks to make white dotted lines. so I don't really use yellow dotted lines on my 2-lane roads. So obviously this road is not very American designed, but if you're building this road on a server and you expect there to be the traffic on it, it is a bit functional. So this is the 2-lane road here. Now I'm going to go into the city and show you how to build an avenue. So, welcome to Banama City. This is the island state of Banama in central Rabbit Erica. So here it is, not much of a city. I'll be honest, I've been kind of building it up a little bit. It's really supposed to be more of a facade city for the sake of, like, little tutorials and that. I'm thinking I might do some building tutorials within this city, so yeah, you can expect to see this town a little more often when I play Minecraft. I probably won't spend as much time in the adorable states of Rabbit Erica. So I have here 2 roads. This one is meant for 2 lanes, this one is meant for 4 lanes. And I have some end stone brick sidewalk here. I can probably just switch that back to stone brick. I was just using Hey, do not interrupt me when I'm talking! I was just using the end stone bricks as reference a little while ago. The wildlife! So yeah, in the city, I use stone bricks for the sidewalk. Now, since this is downtown, I have the sidewalk 2 blocks wide, but normally I just do it 1 block wide. Now, before I show you how to build an avenue, I am going to create a crosswalk. And since this is a city, I think I'm going to use gray concrete. So, I build a crosswalk like this. I do a white concrete here, then gray, then white, then gray, then white. I just do the standard zebra pattern. Right, you see these types of crosswalks in the city. Sometimes it's the crosswalks that'll look something like this, but that's too wide for me, and if I do such a thing, I just do something like this. It's just a solid white bar, whatever you'd call it. So like I said, zebra pattern, so white, gray, white, gray, white, gray, white, gray. My pattern got too quick. White, gray, and white. So that's how you make a crosswalk. And if this is a road out in the country, what you would do is build a stop line. Something like this. Actually, if it's a 2-lane road, you would do this. But since this is going to be an avenue, I'm going to do this. And then I will actually extend it out. And then yellow concrete like this, and that is how you would make your stop line. And then the other side of the road would obviously be not have that stop line. So I've got the crosswalks made. I'll fill out this gravel area in a little bit. So I'm going to show you how to make an avenue. So it's a little easy once you know how to build a 2-lane road. Like, let me just fill this out and then I'll show you. So you'll build your center line like normal. You'll just do this. Now note, the center line of an avenue will never be dotted. And yes, I've realized that I say dotted line instead of broken line, but hopefully I still make sense when I say dotted line. So the center line is never broken in an avenue. So then you build your lanes like this. Well, that was out of the blue. So you have your inside 2 lanes like this. Now, instead of building your shoulder or sidewalk, what you're going to do is you're going to do an alternating pattern like this. 2 gray, 2 white, 2 gray, 2 white. And basically you're creating broken white lines that divide the lanes of the road. And then you just make your outside lanes like this. And that is your avenue here. That is how you create an avenue. And then to wrap up this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a one-lane road, which is rather easy. So I'm going to make the zebra pattern crosswalk right here. And really, a one-lane road is going to have one lane, obviously, that is 3 blocks wide. Now, I did 3 block wide single lanes because there was once a time that I built cars on these roads that were 3 blocks wide, so they would kind of be hard to fit on a single lane road, you know what I'm saying, if the lane was only 2 blocks wide. You know, it's kind of weird. I build single lane roads where the lane is 3 blocks wide, but in roads with 2 or more lanes, the lanes are only 2 blocks wide. Why do I do that? Now, these single lane roads you would find used for off-ramps and on-ramps on highways and freeways, in which case you would give a shoulder like this. You do yellow concrete on the inside shoulder, and then you do white concrete on the outside shoulder. So this shoulder is assuming that traffic is going in this direction. Then again, if you live in most other countries, that could indicate traffic going this way. I mean, really the direction of traffic is up to you. Like I said earlier, this is just a tutorial. Or actually, I should say this was a tutorial because I think I've covered just about everything about the basics of building a road. Well, that does it for this week's video. I'm thinking in next week's video of going back to Kerbal Space Program. I have a couple ideas for some rockets. One of my rocket ideas includes the improvement of the nuclear-powered rocket, which was a monstrous failure that I designed a few months back. Another idea that I have for the near future is a companion video to this one. Basically, it's a tutorial giving you some ideas on how to decorate your roads. So like street lights, signs, traffic lights, some road symbols. I even found a use for the new scaffolding block that was just added in this recent update. An overhead sign. But all that stuff's for other videos. This is going to conclude this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. See you all next week. India Alpha Bravo checking out.
Minus 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. We have ignition sequence start. The engines are on. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We have commit. We have liftoff.